something like that. You can always change it later on if it doesn't work. And now what I'm going to need to do is make sort of a flatter edge for the hilt to extrude out sideways from. And to do that, all I'm going to do is scale these edges outward. Before I do that, I'm going to add a loop cut right above it to preserve the shape of the blade. Directly above it. So here we go. SY. And I'm going to go SX, scale them out a little bit. No, just probably, it's a little too much. Something like that. And I'm also going to select this. Nope, gotta do it halfway at a time. So the middle mouse button to deselect that. I'm gonna hit SX 0. Nope, wrong way. SY 0. And get something like that. Same thing to this side. SY 0. And now we have more of a flat surface to work on. So we'll go ahead and see what that looks like. From out here, it looks probably about the right thickness. I might change it later on vertically. But for now, select this loop by hitting Alt right clicking. Same thing with this loop. And I'm just going to go ahead and press E to extrude, and then S, and then Shift Z to constrain it to the Z axis. Actually, I'm not going to do that because it's kind of messy. I'm going to hit just SY first, do it manually, and SX. SX, only a little bit. Actually, probably not even at all. Just a little bit so I can see my edges here. Now I'm going to go ahead now and use these extruded edges. And scale them on the x-axis until they're a little more flat. And go ahead and grab all these edges. Same thing on this side. Select these vertices and scale them on the y-axis. Alright, so there we go. Now you have sort of a wider area to work with that's extruded out from the blade, and I'm actually going to select these and scale them on the y-axis. There we go. Make them a little bit thinner. Now I'm going to select these. Same thing on the other side. That's the only problem when you don't have the mirror modifier to work with, which I might actually just go ahead and add one right now. That's nice. And I'm going to do that right now. Let's go ahead and add a mirror modifier to it. So to do that, though, you need to delete half of the sword. So make sure everything's deselected, bead box select, and go close to the half of the sword there. Up top could be a little bit tricky. Yep. And it did it just fine. Down to, let's see where to go down to. Nope, and that's just exactly half of it right there. So I'm going to hit X, delete vertices. I have exactly half of it. I can go ahead and add my mirror modifier again, and just on the X axis, enable clipping, enable the mesh, the cage, and there you go. Now we can have the luxury of being able to add only one side of the mesh. So go ahead and drag these back to even out those quads a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move these outward, make it a little more flat. I'm going to take a look at what's down here. Okay, well, that's pretty strange. We'll have to go ahead and press F to make a face there, and we hit W. Subdivide the chop in half, so I have an extra vertex in the middle. I'm trying to see where I need to go with this. Yep. I think I can select these. Yeah, and I got two quads. Right here. Seal those holes up. And now I have a little area to work with the handle. I'm going to go ahead and shape this hole how I want it. Before it, scale on the y-axis. Scale it how I want it before I actually, I keep doing that. Scale on the y-axis before I actually extrude it. So now I can press Alt here, extrude it downward. Alright, so we're going to give a little more styling to this hilt here. Right now it looks pretty bland. Man, it's really fat too, so what I'm going to do is select this, SY, thinner, now loop cut, scale on the x-axis, Control E, move it pretty close to this, and scale that on the y-axis. Now we have a little bit thinner hilt, looks a little nicer. I'm going to go ahead and keep evening those out. I'm going to go ahead and also, let's see, front view. I'm going to make the ends where I want them right now. That's probably pretty good. Move them up a little bit. Rotate them. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and scale them on the z-axis. Scale them back out on the y-axis. Until I have sort of a flat. So now I have something that goes from tall and thin to wide and short. And this is really only a preference. You can style this however you want, but I make a lot of my swords this way. I'm working in my spare time on a movie right now, and I have a specific style that I put in all the swords, and this is sort of one of them. Go ahead and do that. Should we even out those nice curves? Alright, so look for any that kind of stick out. This one's not quite low enough. Now we have something like that. I'm going to go ahead and also go to top view. And, oops, select these, scale them on the Y. Okay, now here's a little bit of a hard part. It looks really sharp. I want to bevel these edges a little bit, but you can't really use any sort of modifier to do that, so let's do it manually by, let's see, putting an edge here, and I'm going to say scale it up very slightly. Scale it on the y-axis until I approximately have like a, say, a 45-degree angle right here. This gives the nicest bevel. And a loop cut. Approximately the same height. Y, scale it out. Like that. And that really gives us a really nice bevel, as well as the ability to do some more with the interior of this, which I don't think I'll even, I'll just leave it as it is. I'm also going to pull these ends out. Bevel the ends there. Alright. Well, that's a simple hilt. I don't really know if I want to add any other styling things in here. What I'll do is I'll just go ahead and I might as well do something. Pull this up. It's not going up, so doing that allows me to see. Can I add a loop in here? Yes, I can. All right, good. Pull these up basically the same way I did. Nah, that doesn't look good. See what I want to actually do here. I need to make sure these are, let's see, scaled out to about the same. I need to select each side individually. S, Y, 0. Same thing. S, Y, 0. And let's see. Now, if I select this, see if this is going to work or not. And same thing on this side. Vertices in here, and I extrude them. Hit Z to grab Z now. And I go ahead and just drag it up like that. Let's see. Now, it's getting kind of hard to see now. If I go ahead and just drag these down, there. Drag these right here. And let's see, I need to make sure these are exactly lined up with the vertices in here so that I can just remove doubles and it'll work alright. If I do it right now, go ahead and actually, I think I can localize this. So I select these, all these vertices in here, and hit W, remove doubles, and increase the threshold. You can see that those will just automatically merge those there. And I do the same thing down here.